Namaste yogis, welcome to my next class. Hope you're all well. It's a beautiful sunny day and I hope you're ready for a nice deep hip opening class, working the front of the hip, the psoas and the outer hip and the back of the leg, the hamstring muscles, with the playful aim of trying to get the knee over the shoulder or shoulder behind the knee, which depending on which way you're approaching it. So we'll try a playful sequence. We'll build in some arm balances and just enjoy yourself. So let's begin lying down for some preparation work. So just lie down on your mat, bring both knees into the chest, give yourselves a hug, and then take the hands to the knees and just gently start to circle the hips, just starting to warm up the hip joints, and then taking it the other way, and then release your left foot down, place the right foot across the top of the left knee, and then pick the left foot up, take the hands behind the back of the left leg and gently ease that left thigh in towards you whilst pushing the right knee away from you. So you open the outer right hip and the left hip flexor, trying to keep the low back on the floor. Really feel that outer right hip beginning to open. Good. And then release down. And you can take hold of the back of the right thigh, or you can take the first two fingers around the toe and extend that right leg up, flexing the foot, depending on the flexibility of your hamstring. So we're only just warming up, so if you need to keep the hands on the back of the leg, that's fine. And maybe you start to slide that left leg along to straighten the leg. Try to release the top of the femur bone back into the hip socket and energetically push the ball of the foot up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to turn the right toes out. Brace yourself with your left arm so that you don't collapse onto the right, and we're taking that right leg out to the side. Doesn't have to come all the way down. We're trying to get an inner thigh opening here. Keep that right leg active, flex the right foot, engage the kneecap to engage the quadricep muscles in the right leg, and that will help fire up the hamstring muscles in the back. Good, and then come back to centre. Bend that right leg, take hold of the outer edge of the right foot and just come into that half happy baby pose. So keep that right foot flexed, easing the right knee down by the outer right shoulder. That's the feeling you're aiming for. Good, and release, and let's change sides. So left foot to the top of the right knee, hands behind the back of that right thigh, and ease that right thigh in towards you, and the left knee eases away from you, opening that outer left hip. Good, and release. Take hold of the back of the left thigh or first two fingers around the big toe and extend that left leg up. Again, same principles. Releasing that head of the femur bone back into the hip socket, but making sure that foot is active, pushing up towards the ceiling, lengthening the back of the leg. Maybe you slide that right leg out, using your breath. And then turn the left toes out. Slowly start to bring that left leg out wide for a nice deep inner thigh stretch, but being mindful to keep that left leg really active, so you're pulling the left kneecap up, engaging the front of that thigh, the quadriceps, to help fire up the back of the leg, and you're not collapsing the body over onto the left, and making sure you're staying central. And then inhale, come back up, bend the left leg, hold the outer edge of the foot, and come into that half happy baby, Ardha Ananda Balasana. So you're aiming to really warm that hip flexor up the front of the left hip by easing that left knee down towards the floor. Good, and release, well done. Again, both knees into the chest. Give yourselves a big hug, squeeze the knees in. And then rock and roll a couple of times. Come all the way up. And come over onto your hands and knees. Shoulders over the wrists. Let's just warm the spine up gently. So inhale, arch, look forward, and exhale, round, push the hands down. Broaden the upper back. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Moving in time with your breath, inhaling, arching, looking forward. Exhale, round, push down. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Once more, inhale. And exhale. Bring the spine back to neutral. And step back to a plank position, high plank. So again, legs strong, heels pushing back, chest coming forward. Pull the front of the ribs in, engage your core. And then pick your left foot up. Bring the left knee to the elbow or the tricep. Exhale back. Inhale up. Exhale back. Inhale up. Exhale back. Last time. Inhale up. Exhale back. Place the foot down and push up and back for your first downward facing dog. So you can pedal the feet. Push the chest back towards the legs, lengthen the spine, pushing the inner hands into the floor. Good. Feeling the body starting to open. And again, inhale, come forward to plank. Shoulders over the wrists, engage the front of the body. And then picking your right foot up, that right knee comes to the elbow or the tricep if you can get it up there. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Last time. Inhale. Exhale, place the foot down. Push up and back. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Good. Lifting the hips high, lengthening the back, pushing the chest back towards the legs so that arms feel nice and light. Good, and then look forward, push the hands into the floor and start to step the feet forward, trying to keep the legs straight. Stepping up to the top of the mat. Look forward, lengthen. Exhale into that full forward bend. And then slowly start to uncurl. One vertebra at a time. As you come all the way up. Good. Okay, so hopefully you're feeling nice and warm now. I know I am. And we'll get moving with the flow. So just have fun, don't take it too seriously, and we'll begin. So standing with your feet together, hands at your heart centre. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, release the hands down. Inhale, up, look up, reach up, lengthen. Exhale, hinge forward. Release into that forward bend, keeping the spine nice and long. Inhale, half forward bend, look forward. Exhale, release back down. Stepping the left foot all the way back to a low lunge. Just hold there for a moment, lengthen the spine. Feel the legs starting to engage. And then turn to your left. Walk over and bend into that left leg. Extend the arms forward, or you can bring the fingertips down. Bring the weight back. We're opening the inner thighs. Exhale over to the right. Weight in that back right heel. Good, and then turn to the top. Step back to plank. Look forward. Bring your knees, chest and chin down. Bring that chest forward and down. Inhale, cobra pose. Gentle cobra pose, pull the chest through. And then lift up and back. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Good. And step your left foot forward to that low lunge. Hold for a moment. Lengthen the spine. Feel that left psoas releasing. And this time we're turning to the right. Bend into that right leg. Weight back in that right heel. Maybe lengthen the arms forward. Exhale over to your left. Good, and then turn to the top of the mat. And then step your right foot to meet the left. Release into forward bend. Inhale, floating the body up, reaching up. Exhale, hands to the heart centre. And again. Inhaling, Urdhva Hastasana, reach up, look up. Hands. Exhale, hinge forward. Release. Inhale, half forward bend, offer your chest forward. Exhale, release back down. This time right foot steps back. Low lunge. And then we turn to the right. This time we're coming into low Skandasana. So bring the hips low, maybe you come onto that left heel, toes point up. Keeping the hips low, moving over onto the left side. Point the right toes up. Good, and then turn to the top of the mat. Step back to plank. And knees, chest, chin. Bring the chest forward and down. Release into cobra pose, Bhujangasana. Tops of the feet down. And then lift up and back. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Good. And step your right foot forward, low lunge. Turn to your left. Release into that left leg. Feel the inner thighs really opening. Exhale, keeping the hips low, over to the other side. And then turn to the top of the mat. And step the left foot to meet the right. Forward bend, Uttanasana, lengthening the spine. Inhale, floating the body up. Exhale, hands to the heart centre. Continuing. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips, lengthening the spine, Uttanasana. Inhale, offer the chest forward. Exhale, release. Bring the hands flat, your choice to step or jump straight to Chaturanga. Cobra or upward facing dog. And then lift up and back. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Lift the hips up, lengthen the spine. Then just step your left foot into the midline a little more, and we raise the right leg, keeping the weight pushing back into that left leg, and we bend the right leg, open the hip, pulling the front of the body in, protecting the lower back. Push the weight back into that left leg, lift that right knee high, and try to not open up that right shoulder too much. Try to keep the shoulders fairly even. Good. And then straighten the leg, square the hip, look forward and bring the right knee to the outer right tricep. Exhale, up and back. And we step the right foot forward. Hold the lunge for a moment, lengthening the spine. Release that right hip forward and down, but keep the back leg strong. Then we drop that back knee. And inhale, come up to Anjaneyasana. Try to bring the hips back. So we're not just dropping forward too much, collapsing into that right leg. We're pulling back, trying to get the opening in the left hip flexor. So isometrically draw the feet together. You can keep the hands reaching up, or you can maybe take the hands behind you, clasp the hands together, squeeze the palms, and you start to lift the chest. You keep the lower back long, pull the front of the body in. Maybe you start to offer that chest up to the ceiling. Good, and release. Okay, so fairly early on, Ardha Manasana. So fingertips down, slide the left knee back, straighten that right leg, flex the right foot. So we have warmed up the hamstring muscles already at the beginning, but depending on how you're feeling, you might just want to stay quite upright like this, but make sure you're flexing the right foot, everyone. Pull that right kneecap up, and maybe you can lengthen the spine, walk the hands forward, keep lengthening, and fold the body over that right leg. And just for something slightly different, lift up halfway, point the right toes out to the right slightly, and then re-bend, and just notice that the angle of the foot just creates a slightly different stretch in the back of the leg. So we haven't just got one hamstring muscle, so this is working the outer hamstring. Good. Okay, and release. Okay, so lift the back knee, come into this high lunge, and then bend back into the right leg. Wiggle that right foot over a few inches, both hands to the inside of the right foot. Keep looking forward. If you've got your block handy, you might need the block. So coming down onto the forearm, so you can come down onto the block if your block is handy. The lizard lunge. Keep looking forward, push the chest forward. Or you can bring the forearms all the way to the floor. But try to push the forearms down, keep looking forward, lengthen the spine as much as you can. Back leg strong. You're trying to excavate the front of that right hip. Okay, and come back onto the hands. Bring the right hand to the outside of the right foot. And let's just step back to downward facing dog. Take a breath. And again, raise the right leg. bring the right knee to the outer right tricep and squeeze it in. Exhale up and back. And release that right foot down. Come forward into plank. Knees, chest, chin or chaturanga. Cobra or upward facing dog. And peel the hips up and back. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Good. Okay, so right foot comes into the centre, central line. We raise the left leg. Keep the hips square for a moment. Push the weight back into the right leg. Then bend the left leg, open the hip. Same principles as the first side. We're trying to push the chest back towards the right leg. Lift that left knee high, pull the front of the body in. And then straighten the leg, look forward. Bring the left knee to the outer left tricep. Exhale up and back. And step the left foot forward. Low lunge. Feel the left hip release forward and down. And then gently drop the back knee to the floor. Inhale to come up. Anjaneyasana. Lengthening the lower back, pelvis down, drawing the feet towards each other to stabilise the pelvic girdle. And you can maybe take your hands behind you, squeeze the palms, lift the chest, open the chest. Good, and release. Okay, so fingertips down, slide the right knee back, straighten the left leg for Ardha Hanumanasana. Lengthen the spine so you can stay quite upright. Keep flexing the left foot, or you can walk the hands forward, start to fold the body, lengthen the spine over that left leg. Imagine you are pushing that left foot into a wall. Lift up halfway and just turn the left toes out and then rebend. Just getting a stretch in that outer left hamstring muscle. Good, and release. Lift the back knee and then start to bend back into that left leg. Bring the left foot out a few inches so you can bring both hands to the inside of the left foot. If you need the block, take the block, the lizard lunge. So keep looking forward, lengthening the spine forward. Forearms come down to the floor or to the block. Try to keep that left knee pulling up towards the left shoulder. Push the forearms down, lengthen the spine forward as much as you can in this position. Keep breathing, using your breath to help you relax rather than tense and contract. Good, and then come onto the hands again. And let's just step back to plank. Knees, chest, chin or chaturanga. Cobra or upward facing dog. Pull the chest through, shoulders back. And lift the hips up and back. Ardha Svanasana. And once more, raise the left leg. Bring the left knee to the outer left tricep, squeeze it in. Exhale up and back. And release the foot down. Take a few breaths in downward facing dog. Good, and look forward. Prepare to either step or lightly hop forward. Release into that forward bend. Inhale, floating the body up. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Good. And continuing. Feet together. Inhale, reaching up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hinge forward. Release into forward bend. Inhale the chest forward. Exhale down. Stepping or jumping back. Chaturanga. Cobra or upward facing. And lift the hips up and back. Ardha Svanasana. Good. Raise the right leg. Bend the leg, open the hip. Straighten the leg, square the hip. Bring the right knee to the outer right tricep. Exhale up and back. And step the right foot forward. Heel to heel alignment with the feet as we inhale up to Warrior One. Right hip moves back, left hip forward. Square the hips. And then take the hands behind you. Squeeze the palms. Inhale, lift and open the chest for a breath. Pull the ribs in. And exhale, start to lengthen the body forward. And we're trying to bring the right shoulder to the inside of that right leg. Humble warrior. Bring the arms away from the back. Keep the back leg strong to help find your balance. Good. Inhale, come back up, keeping the arms behind you. And straighten that right leg. Exhale, keeping the right hip moving back. We lengthen forward. Halfway, maybe you stop there. Maybe you fold fully over the right leg. Inhale, bend back into that right leg. Reach the arms up. Warrior One. Exhale, hands down. Step back to downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up. Come forward, right knee to outer right tricep. Hold this time, squeeze. Maybe you bend the arms. Lift up and step back to plank. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Cobra or upward facing. And lift up and back. Ardha Svanasana. Inhale the left leg up. Bend the leg, open the hip. Keep moving that right hip back. Keep the shoulders even. Straighten the leg, look forward. Bring the left knee to the outer left tricep, squeeze in. Exhale, lift up and back. Step the left foot forward. Virabhadrasana 1. Inhale up. Left hip moves back, right hip forward. Maybe you just bring that left foot out a few inches. Taking the hands behind you, squeeze the palms. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, hinge forward, lengthening the body forward, look forward. Release to the inside of that left thigh. Humble warrior. Inhale, come back up. Straighten the left leg. Exhale, start to hinge forward. Right hip forward, left hip back. Maybe you stop parallel to the floor, or you lengthen over the left leg. Inhale, bend back into that left leg as you come up. Reach up for warrior one. Bring the hands down. Step back, downward facing dog, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, raise the left leg. Left knee to outer left tricep. Squeeze it in, maybe you bend the arms here. And then step back to plank. Knees, chest, chin or chaturanga. Listen to your body if you're getting tired. Do what's right for you. And push up and back. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Good. And then preparing to step or lightly hop forward. Release into forward bend. Inhale, floating up. Reach up. Exhale, hands to the heart center. We'll do that once more, maybe a little more fluidly this time. So inhaling, reaching up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, offer the chest forward. Exhale, release down, prepare, step or jump back, chaturanga. Cobra or upward facing. And lift the hips up and back. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. We raise the right leg. Bend the leg, open the hip. Straighten the leg, square the hip, bring the right knee to the outer right tricep. Exhale, up and back. Step right foot forward, heel to heel alignment. Inhale, come up, warrior one. Exhale, release the hands, squeeze the palms. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, lengthen the body forward to the inner right thigh. Lengthen and then release. Humble warrior. Inhale, coming back up. Straighten the right leg. Exhale, start to hinge forward. You can just bring the body parallel to the floor, or maybe you lengthen fully over the right leg. And then start to lift up, reach up. Exhale, hands down. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up. Look forward, right knee to outer right tricep. Maybe you bend the arms and come into that arm balance. Step back, knees, chest, chin or chaturanga, cobra or upward facing, and lift the hips up and back. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Once more, inhale the left leg up, bend the leg, open the hip. Straighten the leg, square the hip, look forward, bring the left knee to the outer left tricep. This is all preparation for that arm balance, Ekapada Kundiniyasana. And we step the left foot forward, heel to heel alignment. Inhale up, Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 1. Reach the hands down, squeeze the palms. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale. Extend the body forward, humble warrior. Come to the inner left thigh, lengthen and release. Inhale, start to come up, straighten the left leg. Exhale, hinge forward, moving the left hip back. You can stop halfway, or you can fold over the left leg. Inhale, come back up. Full warrior one. Reach the arms up. Exhale, the hands down. Step back, downward facing dog. Okay, so this time we're going to try that arm balance potentially. Raise the left leg. Left knee comes forward to the outer left tricep. You can touch that left foot down, squeeze that thigh in, bend the arms, look forward. Maybe the legs straighten. Good, and then step back. Plank, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Cobra or upward facing. And lift up and back. Ardha Mukha Svanasana, good. Take a few breaths here. If you're tired, rest in child's pose for a few breaths. Everyone take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Sigh it out. And again, inhaling. Exhale. Good. Look forward. Prepare to step or hop forward. Forward bend. Uttanasana. Lengthen. Inhale, floating the body up. Urdhva Hastasana, look up at the hands. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Good. Okay, so let's take the hands to the hips. Step out to the left. Bring the feet quite wide, not too wide though, but have the feet parallel. Good, keeping the hands on the hips. We start to exhale and hinge forward. Come halfway, fingertips down, lengthen the spine. So before we move into that deeper forward fold, just make sure the outer edges of the floor, feet are firmly pushing into the floor. The inner arches of the feet are lifting to help you engage the correct muscles in the leg. Then we start to walk the hands back. If you've got the block handy, you can just bring the hands to the block. If you've got tight hamstrings, we're coming into a deeper forward bend, lengthening the spine forward and then down. Maybe the top of the head reaches down. Keep pushing the outer edges of the feet into the floor. Pull the kneecaps up. Good, okay, and then lift up halfway. Okay, so I will mirror you. So start to turn your body to your right, towards your right leg. Bring your left hand across to the right ankle. Start to really turn the body. Maybe the other hand comes across. And then we start to lengthen the body over that right leg. Really trying to move that chest over. And try to move that left hip back if it's jutting forward. Keep lengthening the spine. Good, and come back to centre. Changing sides. So start to turn your body to your left leg. Keep the hips in the centre. Bring that right hand across to the ankle. And maybe the other hand. And then you start to lengthen the body. Move and open the chest. over that left leg. Try and move that right hip crease back if it's jutting forward. Good, and then come back to centre. Okay, so once more we come into that deep forward bend. This time there's option for tripod headstand if that's available to you. So you bring the hands down, lengthen the spine to bring the top of the head down. Then if you feel able to, come onto the toes, use your core muscles to pick the feet up, bring the legs up. Tripod headstand. If you're just staying down in the forward bend, you're getting more work in the back of the legs, the hamstring muscles, you're still lengthening. Good, if you're in the tripod, slowly start to bring the legs up wide and try not to just drop the feet down with no control. So use your core muscles to bring them slowly down, tap the feet lightly down. Good, and everyone lift up halfway. Bring the hands to the hips, inhale, come up all the way. Good, and nothing fancy, let's just turn and step to the top of the mat. Okay, good. So, let's keep moving. Inhaling the arms up. Exhale, hinge forward, release forward and down, forward bend, Uttanasana. Inhale, offer the chest forward. Exhale, release down. Step or jump back, Chaturanga. And then Cobra or upward facing. Pull the chest through and lift the hips up and back, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. And raise the right leg. Bring the right knee to the outer right tricep, squeeze it in. Exhale, lift up and back. Right foot forward, heel to arch alignment now. Inhale up for Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Just find your pose. Legs a bit wider than in Warrior 1 because we're coming into this external rotation of the hips. Look over your right shoulder, lengthen the arms from the chest so they're not just flopping, they're strong. Then we take the back of the right hand to the mid back. We exhale, start to lean over to the right to bring the right elbow to the inside of the right knee. If it's too much, just rest the elbow on the top of the knee. Keep pushing the back of the right hand into that back and then raise the left arm up and bring it along by the ear. So just looking down, check that right hip isn't jutting out too much. Pull the right hip back into the midline. Open the chest. Move that right shoulder back. Inhale, come up, straighten the right leg. Reverse triangle, lift that right arm, open the chest, release that right thigh for a moment. Good. Bend back into the right leg. Warrior 2, and turn the left hand back. Bring the arm behind you, tuck the fingertips to the top of the right thigh. Half bound Parsvakonasana. You can bring the elbow to the inner knee or fingertips to the floor. Again, pulling that right hip back into the midline. Opening the chest. Move that left shoulder back. Pull the ribs in. And breathe. Good, and release. Inhale, straighten the right leg. Reverse Trikonasana, lifting and opening the chest. Good, and then release back into Warrior Two. This time we're going to try the full bind. So again, take the left arm behind you, tuck the fingertips in. We lean over, right shoulder should come to the inside of the right knee. And if that feels okay, you can get the right arm under the leg, clasp the left wrist for the full bind. Straighten the left arm, open the chest. Again, keep that right hip moving in. Breathe. And maybe you look down, start to straighten that right leg into bound Trikonasana. You can still do this with the half bind, but really try to move that right hip back, lengthen that right leg, keep the chest opening. Good, and then release, keep the bind, and then you can release the hands, drop the back knee. Okay, so hopefully your right shoulder is still close by that right knee. We're going to now try to get that shoulder behind the knee. So wiggle the shoulder back a couple of times and work that shoulder underneath the knee. Bring that left foot over to the right for support. Turn the body to your left. See if you can pick that right foot up. If that's successful, take the left hand to the outer right foot, and then you start to straighten that right leg. Keep pushing that arm back against the inner thigh. Good. Release. From here you can try Ekapada Kundalini, maybe just get that shoulder behind the knee again. So it's a little bit deeper. And then you can straighten that right leg, tip forward. Good. And release, well done. Okay, just swing the right leg back. Onto all fours. And then let's just push back into downward facing dog. Skip the Vinyasa to conserve some energy. Maybe just sway the hips from side to side. Move the spine. Okay, ready for the other side. Inhale the left leg up. Bring the left knee to the outer left tricep. Squeeze in. Exhale up and back. Step the left foot forward, heel to arch alignment with the feet. Inhale up, Warrior Two. Breathing deeply. Release into the pose, find your alignment. Body nice and straight over the hips, we're not leaning forward yet. So keep the body straight. Left hip moving in and back. Outer right foot grounding into the floor. Then we take the back of the left hand to the mid back. We exhale, lean over, and maybe the left elbow comes to the inside of that left thigh. Otherwise, just keep it resting on the top of the left knee. Push the left hand into the back. Raise that right arm, bring the arm along by the ear. So it's just a different way of opening that left shoulder. Try to pull the chest in. Move that left shoulder back. Push the back of the left hand into the back. Good, and inhale, come up, straighten the left leg. Raise the left arm, reverse Trikonasana. Good, release back into Virabhadrasana 2. This time turn your right arm back, bring the arm behind you, tuck it, the fingertips to the top of the left thigh. Exhale, lean over, elbow to knee or fingertips to floor for half bound Parsvakonasana. Opening the right shoulder and chest. Keep that left hip moving into the midline. Inhale, release. Straighten the left leg. Reverse. Trikonasana. Exhale, release back into Warrior Two. And this time we're coming to the full bound pose. So turn the right arm back, tuck the fingertips, exhale, lengthen over. If the left shoulder comes to the inner left knee, then maybe you get the arm under the leg, clasp the right wrist, straighten that right arm. Full bound. Otherwise, just stay in the half bind. You're still getting that opening. If you're in the full bind, really move that right shoulder head back. Maybe you exhale and start to straighten the left leg for bound Trikonasana. Keep moving the left hip back. Maybe you're just in the half bind still, it doesn't matter. But keep opening the chest to the ceiling, don't collapse the chest down. Good, and then start to bend back into that lunge. Okay, and then we can release that back knee down. Turn to the top of the mat for now. Okay, again we're going to get that left shoulder behind the left knee. So work that shoulder back behind the knee. Wiggle it back a few times. Press the hands down. Swing that right foot over to the left for balance, and then you open the body to your right. Maybe you pick that left foot up. Maybe you take the right hand to the outer left foot and extend that left leg up. Push the left tricep against that inner left thigh. Just release for a moment. If you want to try that Ekapada Vinyasa, get the shoulder behind the knee, hands down, straighten the left leg, tip forward to the arm balance. Good, and release, well done. Swing the knees back onto all fours, bring the knees wide, sit the hips back, child's pose for a few breaths. Take the opportunity to breathe deeply into the back of the lungs. Get your breathing back under control. Try to breathe through the nose. Okay, well done. And lift up. Push back, downward facing dog. Okay. We're stepping the right shin forward. We're coming into pigeon prep. So bend the right leg as it comes forward. Right knee comes out to the right. The right foot comes over by the top of the left hip. Keep the back toes tucked under so you can really walk that left foot back. Just check behind you, make sure the leg is directly behind you, not off at an angle. And then just look forward, see where that right hip is. If it's really high up, take your block, place the block under that right hip, because we don't want to feel any pain in that right knee. So by lifting the hip up, that will take the pressure off the knee. If you feel fine, that's good. You can even try and bring that right shin more parallel to the top of the mat, but try not to just lean over on the right. We need to keep the hips central. And then when you feel ready, you can start to walk the hands forward, maybe just come onto the forearms if that feels better. And just make sure the legs are still active, so the back leg, the left knee is lifting off the floor, it's so active. You're moving that right hip crease back to keep the hips in alignment. And just breathe. Taking a few more deep breaths here, really feeling that right outer hip opening. Just making sure you don't have any of that pain in the right knee, but you will feel a strong opening in the outer right hip. Okay, and then getting ready to slowly come up. Swing that left leg forward. Okay, so you can stay facing forward. I'll swing round so I'm facing you and I'll try and mirror you. So bend your left leg in so the foot comes up towards the groin. Bend your right leg with the top of the foot down. See how that feels. If the left knee is swinging around in the air, it's not coming down, I would just recommend keeping that left leg straight forward, like that. Doesn't really matter. But you should be sitting with a nice straight back. Make sure you're sitting on the front of the sits bones rather than leaning back, so try and keep the back as straight as possible, hands under the foot. And then we begin to straighten that right leg into heron pose, Kramchasana. So feel like again you're releasing the top of that femur bone back into the hip socket. You're lifting the chest up, push the sole of the foot into the hands. You're moving in opposing directions. You're trying to tilt the pelvis forward and lift the leg up. Okay, keep hold of the foot but bend the right leg. We're going to try to get the knee over the shoulder from here, so start to swing that right knee back, ease it back, and then see if you can swing it up over the shoulder. Bring the right hand down. Take hold of the outer edge of the right foot with the left hand, and then maybe you start to extend the leg into that compass pose. Keep the chest lifted. Good. And then release. Well done. Okay, so one more pose here. Come into a low lunge with the left leg forward, and then drop that back foot. So it's a bit like a warrior two position. But from here, now this is quite advanced. You can always just leave the right knee down. We've already done this, the variation with the knee down. So we're going to try and get the shoulder behind the knee. Bring the left hand down, open the chest to the side. maybe you pick that foot up, take hold of the outer edge of the foot and extend that leg. Full Visvamitrasana. Squeeze the leg into the arm. Good, okay, and release, well done. Okay, and I'm probably at the wrong end of the mat, so I'm just going to turn round and step back, downward facing dog. And then you can step or jump forward to seated. Good, one more pose here, I promise. So I'll stay sideways this time. You might be able to see it better. I'm going to extend my left leg forward, pick the right foot up, work that knee back again. So we get the knee over the shoulder. Clamp the knee over the shoulder, bring the hands down, bring the hips back, and then see if you can pick the left foot up, hook the foot over that right ankle, keep the arms straight for now, then we bring the legs to the side, bend the arms, Ashtavakrasana. Good. Okay, I promise that's it on that side, and we'll do that sequence on the other side. So get your blocks ready if you need it for pigeon prep. Downward facing dog. And we're stepping that left leg forward, bringing the shin down. Left knee over to the left foot should be about in line with the top of the right hip. We tuck the back toes under, check behind you, make sure that right leg is straight behind you. Walk that foot back as far as you can go. And again, seeing how that left knee feels. If you need to, take the block under that left hip to ease the pressure on the knee. Okay, and then once you feel in the right position, you can walk the hands forward. But don't just completely collapse. Make sure the legs still feel like they're active. Move that left hip crease back all the time to keep you in alignment. And breathe. Use this opportunity to breathe deeply into the back of the lungs. So although it's a deep hip opening, it's more of a restful hip opening. So take the opportunity to conserve your energy and just enjoy this nice release for the hip. Good, okay, and then slowly come up. Lean to the side, swing the right leg forward. So I'll stay facing sideways this time. So again, you can either keep that right leg straight in front of you, or you can bend the right leg, bring the foot towards the groin. The left leg bends. And you're sitting up tall on the sits bones. Take the hands under the foot. Prepare for heron pose, Kramchasana. Extend that left leg. Same principles. Release the head of the femur bone, that top of the thigh bone, back into the hip socket. Lift the chest as much as you can. Make sure the foot is active. Good, and then start to bend the left leg. Keep working that left knee back a couple of times. And then see if you can swing it up and over the shoulder. Bring the left hand down, take hold of the outer edge of the left foot and extend that left leg. Compass pose, so open the chest, push the left sits bone down, make sure the left foot's active. Good. And then release. Good. Okay, so this time, step the left leg back, right leg low lunge, and then drop the back foot, turn the body to the side, and we're trying to work the shoulder behind the right knee. Get it under there. And then turn the body to the side. Pick that right foot up. Take hold of the outer edge of the right foot and extend that right leg. Extend the back leg for Vinyasa. Good. And release. Well done. Come onto all fours. Just got that one more pose to do, Savasana. So, we need to get the shoulder over the knee again. Sorry, even the knee over the shoulder. So you can have the right leg straight out in front of you. Work the left knee back. Shoulder, knee over shoulder, hands down, and then move the hips back, engage the core, pick that right foot up, hook the feet, keep the legs straight, and then bring the legs to the side, bend into the arms. Good, and then release. Well done. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you managed some of the poses, or you at least tried the preparation. So at least your hips should be feeling good, open and warm. Okay, so well-deserved relaxation. Let's just come down and just do a nice counter pose, a twist for the spine. So just a nice simple twist. In fact, I'm going to make sure I've got the block over to my left. Keep the left leg straight, bend the right knee into the chest. Take hold of the big toe, extend the leg up like we did at the beginning of the class. But this time, take the left hand to the outer edge of the right foot. Bring your right arm out to the side to brace yourself. And then we start to bring the right leg over to the left. Okay, and then once you get there, just get the block, rest the foot on the block so it feels more restful, and you can roll onto the left hip more so the hips are in alignment. So you shouldn't feel any too much strain, it should just feel like a nice release for the back and a bit of a gentle release for the outer right hip. If you can, try to keep, once you're there, think about trying to move the right shoulder back to release into the floor, and just breathe deeply. Good. And then just release the foot from the block, bend the leg slightly, and just come back to centre. And just change sides, so bring the block over to your right side. Extend the right leg, bring the left knee into the chest. Extend that left leg up. Take the right hand to the outer edge of the left foot and start to bring the left leg over to your right and place the foot on the block. Make sure the hips are in alignment, so the right hip's on top of the left, and then maybe you can think about releasing the left shoulder back into the floor. Just feeling a nice gentle release for the spine and the outer left hip. Take the opportunity to breathe deeply into the left side of the lungs. Good, and then release the foot from the block, bend the leg, come back to centre. Well done. Give yourselves a hug. Good. And then your choice to come into Savasana. If you're obviously practicing at home, you can stay in Savasana for as long as you like. Otherwise, maybe just come up to a brief seated meditation, and you can sit on the block. Come into a comfortable seated position. You can just come into Sukhasana or half lotus or full lotus. Just sit with a nice straight back. Bring the thumb and the forefinger together, the tips. Rest the back of the hands on the knees. Just close the eyes and just let the body settle. Let the breathing come naturally. Letting the effects of the practice resonate through the body. Just noticing how your body is feeling now. How did your breathing affect your body throughout the practice? And were you able to keep your mind clear and focused throughout the practice? And hopefully you did, and try to keep some of that feeling with you now, and at least for the next few hours. Just letting the positive effects of this practice, your practice, take its effects on the body and the mind and your breath. The union of these three elements is essentially yoga. Bringing your awareness back into the room, slowly opening the eyes. Take a deep breath, raise the arms up. Reach up, join the palms. Exhale the hands down through the centre of the eyes, Ajna chakra, continuing down to your heart, your Anahata chakra. Om Shanti. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me, yogis, and see you next time.